Hello, welcome to Final Score. The FA Cup third round is in full swing and the managerial axe was swinging well this morning. Roy Hodgson has gone from Liverpool. Kilkenny is back. More on that in a moment with Garth, Crooks and Steve Claridge, the men who've been on FA Cup giant killer watch all afternoon. We'll fill you in on the details of this afternoon's ties before we start talking about Liverpool, though. Plenty to tell you about. Well, the lunchtime kickoff at the Emirates, almost the big upset of the day. Leeds United 1-0 up, but Arsenal got one back on the 90th minute. Says Fabregas, a penalty putting them through to a replay at Elland Road. It's Blackburn 0, QPR 0 at Ewood Park. Bolton 0, York City 0. 99 places separate these sides, but non-league York are level at the moment. Is that going to be the huge upset of the day? Brighton 2, Portsmouth 0. The League One leaders beating last season's finalists and Championship opposition, no less. Bristol City, Championship side, also down to League One side. Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 up at Ashton Gate. It's Burnley 3, Port Vale 1. Jim Gannon, new manager at Port Vale, can't steer his side at the moment to a fourth round tie. Burton 0, Middlesbrough 1. Coventry 2, Crystal Palace 0. Doncaster 2, Wolves 2. The Premier League side trailed at half-time, but Stephen Hunt has levelled matters from the penalty spot. Fulham 4, Peterborough 1, which looks to be a done deal at Craven Cottage. Huddersfield 2, Dover 0, so the Romantics will have to look elsewhere for their big story of the day. And Hull 1, Wigan Athletic 2. Millwall in the lunchtime kick-off there at the Den lost 4-1 to Birmingham City. Norwich down at the moment to lower league opposition. Late Norwich from League One leading them by a goal to 0. It's Preston 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Reading 1, West Brom 0. Shane Long has at the moment put the Premier League strugglers under the cosh there. It's Scunthorpe 1, Everton 3. No sign of a shock at Glanford Park. But at Bramall Lane, it's still time yet for Sheffield United 1-2 as Aston Villa in the lead there. Southampton 1, Blackpool 0. The Seasiders' second string under the cosh thanks to Lee Barnard's goal. It's at Stoke 1, Cardiff 1. Cardiff took the lead. Stoke, though, got one back. And it's, I can tell you, Notts, so let's go to Sunderland 0. Notts County are 2-0 up. Lee Hughes with the second, that's just gone in. Notts County scored quite early on in the first half. Sunderland have made changes, we're going to go there very soon. But at the moment, what a big scout for Paul Ince that would be. His old teammate Steve Bruce going out in the third round. And it's Swansea City 3, Colchester United 0. The Swans cruising there at the Liberty. And Torquay 1, Carlisle 0. League 2 opposition could be going through at the moment to League 1 Carlisle out. 730-mile round trip for their fans. Oh, what a journey home. Watford 2, Hartlepool United 1. And a fight back from the Hornets. Hartlepool were in the lead. And at the moment, Avram Grant's something to smile about if we can just tickle him a little bit, because it's West Ham 1, Barnsley 0. West Ham could be going through to the fourth round if they can hold on there. So, Roy Hodgson has left by mutual consent. Kenny Dalglish will be in charge tomorrow for Liverpool in their FA Cup tie against Manchester United. And for the rest of the season, we are informed. Perhaps inevitable. The timing, though, interesting. Garth, your thoughts?
Well, I think about a week or so ago, I think the genie had been let out of the bottle and the pressure started to mount on Roy. We thought that he was got some sort of reprieve with the win against Bolton, but that was no more than the stay of execution, to be absolutely honest with you. Of course, the defeat against Blackburn was his death knell. Interesting enough about timing, once the pressure starts to mount and the manager is coming under increasing pressure, a decision has to be made. That decision seems to be was made this morning. And bearing in mind that we're facing Manchester United on Sunday, was Hodgson going to go to Old Trafford knowing full well that he got the sack? Obviously not. And I think that's why he said, fair enough, if you want to get rid of me, now's the time.
Is it the right thing to put Kenny Dalglish in temporary charge to the end of the season? Would they have been better hanging on until they could get a full-time appointment?
Yeah, I mean, with the position that Kenny was in, I mean, I'm not quite sure that it sits perfectly, that he's gone from, overseeing things at the club to, he's supposedly in a position where he was helping the manager, all of a sudden taking the manager's place. So there's a little bit of an overlap maybe there that's not ideal, but it is strange. I mean, it shows the amount of power that the fans do have at Liverpool, because, as soon as Roy criticised them, it was almost like the end of the road for him, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago? And, they've had a lot of success, the fans, in getting what they want at that club. They had the owners out, change of ownership. He was never actually convinced the majority of the fans, and he's now left. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got who they want. There's no doubt about it. Most of them wanted Kenny in. And we'll see what remains for the rest of the season.
To be fair to Liverpool fans, they don't normally go for the manager. They're very, very loyal to the manager.
That's what Hodgson was surprised at, wasn't it?
I think once that started to happen, I think it was inevitable the ball.
It's almost like he's never had it. You know, I'm sure he'd have loved a little bit of the latitude that the previous manager had, but he just hasn't.
Got to get around the grounds. Lots going on to tell you about. Elakobe's off, so Wolves down to 10 men. It's 2 apiece at the keep moat at the moment. Is another Premier League side going to fall to lower league opposition? Because that looks like what's happening at the Stadium of Light, Steve Sutton, unless there's some kind of Sunderland revival. Steve Bruce has won it 3 times for Manchester United, Paul Ince twice for Manchester United. This obviously means a huge deal to both sides.
It does, and I have to say, Sunderland looked as if they were finding a way back at 1-0. They'd made a couple of changes and they had threatened the county goal on several occasions. But then Lee Hughes stepped up. He forced a great save off Mignolet with a speculative shot. Sunderland, again, as for the first goal, didn't clear properly. Hughes was allowed a second chance on the ball. He was at an almost impossible angle, somehow squeezed it into the net, and it's Sunderland 0, Notts County 2. One end of the ground is bouncing, the other end quickly emptying.
Thank you very much. To the St Mary's now, where Blackpool are behind to League One Southampton. Tony Husband's been watching for us.
Yes, and Blackpool set out their stall with their team sheet, really, and how important the FA Cup is to them when they made 9 changes ahead of this game at a high-flying Southampton of League One. That said, Nigel Adkins made 8 changes to his team, but man for man, they've been better on the day, and they lead through Lee Barnard's early goal in the second half. And that was after Ricky Lambert saw his shot parried away. Matt Phillips saw a shot well saved moments later by the Southampton keeper Bartosz Białkowski as Blackpool tried to muster something in reply. But to be honest, if they were to get an equaliser, you'd think that would be the last thing that Ian Holloway would want. Blackpool trail by a goal to 0.
Tony, thank you very much. Another Premier League side who are sliding out of the FA Cup at the moment are West Brom. They're down at 1-0 at the Madejski Stadium. Reading have been going up the right direction, haven't they, towards the Championship playoff places. Tony Colliver, is there a big gulf at the moment, or are West Brom looking like they might get back into this?
Yes, it's Reading 1, West Brom 0, still remaining the score. Reading lead through Shane Long's first half strike, his 11th strike of the season. Just about deserve their advantage, but they are, of course, the visitors down to 10 men after substitute James Olsen was sent off for 2 bookable offences. Reading 1, West Brom 0.
Let's go back to the Stadium of Light. Steve Sutton, what's going on?
Well, Sunderland maybe have a lifeline. Darren Bent has just pulled one back from the penalty spot. Richardson bundled over in the box. Darren Bent stepped up, straight down the middle. The keeper diving to his left. A blast of a penalty. Sunderland 1, Notts County 2.
Just an update. Let's go to the Reebok Stadium. Richard Askham has been on the edge of his seat all afternoon because if York could get a goal, this would be one of the great upsets in FA Cup history.
It would, Gabby. It would be a huge shock. And I tell you what, York are making a great fist of it. They've had chances in both halves, notably Ashley Chambers in the first, who wasted a terrific shooting opportunity and a free header that skimmed wide from Neil Barrett. Owen Coyle has brought on Kevin Davis, Johan Elmander, Matt Taylor as well to try and find a breakthrough, but it's really not happening. There are just 13,000 fans here today, Gabby, but 5,000 of them are from York and they are noisily cheering on their underdogs and they sniff a big shock.
It looks like Watford have done enough. A third goal for them. 3-1 they're leading Hartlepool at the moment at Vicarage Road. But let's get the full details from the lunchtime kickoff from the Emirates now. Simon Brotherton saw Arsenal Leeds.
Arsenal needed a face-saving penalty in the last minute to force a replay, tucked away by Cesc Fabregas, who'd come on as a substitute during the second half. Phil Dowd, the referee, had a big decision to make, and he got it right, because Theo Walcott was clearly held back by Ben Parker inside the area. Arsenal couldn't have had many complaints if they'd gone out, though, in the third round for the first time in 15 years. Leeds were solid and organised throughout. Arsenal, with 9 changes, disjointed and sloppy. Robert Snodgrass put Leeds ahead with a penalty 9 minutes into the second half. Becchio then forced a good save from Szczesny with a header. But Arsenal, poor as they were, forced a replay and nearly won it in added time. Kasper Schmeichel making a terrific save. Now that would have been harsh. Arsenal were lucky today.
Burton Albion have got one back at the Pirelli Stadium. Andrew James, I bet it's jumping there.
Yes, indeed. 5,000 fans, a little more than that, Gabby. They're celebrating now because it's Burton 1, Borough 1. Sean Harrod there, top scorer, makes it to 12 for the season for him. Headed goal from Adam Boulder's cross, and Borough had led through Gary O'Neill back in the side today after illness. A good free kick from him early in the second half. It hasn't been the best of games, certainly not reliving the memories of that tie against Manchester United in the third round 5 years ago, but it's a tie now. Burton 1, Borough 1.
Let's go to the Ricoh Arena. Crystal Palace were 2-0 down. They've got a penalty to get it back to 2-2, Lindsay Hooper.
Yes, they have. Neil Dan scored. You thought the whistle was going to be blown actually for a foul on Westwood. It wasn't, so that goal stood. And now Neil Dan's is stood to take a penalty. Zaha brought down in the Crystal Palace box. So in the Coventry box rather. So he's just stood over the ball now. Struck it, and he's saved. Westwood has saved. He's had a brilliant game, actually, Westwood. There's still a bit of a follow-up here, but no, they've managed to get away with it. Coventry 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Well, you can see it's just come through. The romance might well be over at the Reebok, Richard Askin. They've had to bring in all the troops now, haven't they, to do it, Bolton?
They have, and one of their leaders, Kevin Davis, has got the goal. Really unfortunate for York City, Gabby. They had an excellent chance a moment ago. Neil Barrett denied by a terrific save from Adam Bogdan, but the goal came from a long ball. The York defence failed to deal with it. It fell to Kevin Davis, and he lashed it into the top corner. Bolton 1, York 0.
So that is not where we're going to get our big romantic story of the day. It would look at the moment. Well, you never know, they might get an equaliser, York, but it's so well to hang on as long as they did.
All credit to York, because Bolton came into the game thinking it was going to be a routine result. The puppers were going. They had to bring on the big guns, Elmander, Taylor and Davis. Puppers. And fortunately for them, Davies has pulled them out of the mire in 83 minutes.
Some other matches that deserve a little mention, though, where upsets are on the card. Is it an upset that Blackpool play a weakened side and lose to Southampton? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. As I said, if you went down the bookies, Southampton were actually favourites for this game. So, no, I mean, this was not an entirely unexpected
Sunderland
result.
losing to Notts County, though, that's got to be an upset.
That is, yeah, there's no doubt about that, because Sunderland have got a reasonably good home record, particularly in the Premiership. So, yeah, it's always a tough place to go, that.
West Brom, you just be a bit worried now.
You
not
are.
only a league slide, but to lose at a cup game today, which could have given them a little bit of a lift as well.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of momentum can be gained if you get the right result in the FA Cup, and as you say, stop those losses in the Premiership, but no, not for them today either.
Well, can Wolves keep momentum going at the Keepmoat? Harry Gratian will tell us.
Well, they're down to 10 men. George Ello Kobe was sent off about 7 or 8 minutes ago for an incident with Coppinger. That led actually to a bit of an altercation between a couple of the Rovers players and the Wolves bench. But this has been a pulsating FA Cup tie. They've got to hang on, though, Wolves, now, because it's Doncaster Rovers asking all the questions.
Thank you, Harry. Let's go to the Britannia Stadium. It's one apiece. Ivan Gaskell watching for us. Is there going to be a winner?
Well, we've got a few minutes to find out. A bit of a grind here in truth. 2/3 full Britannia Stadium, lacking that usual vibrant passion that Stoke really feed off and are accustomed to, and it's been rather reflected in their play largely on the pitch. Stoke making heavy going of it really against a decent Cardiff side, resolute, bereft of big hitters like Bothroyd and Bellamy, yet ahead through the lively Chopra early on, pouncing on a rebound as I speak. There's another Stoke opportunity. It goes begging, it's saved by the goalkeeper. It took Stoke until almost half-time to level it. Tunchai's strike was sweet. Neither side will fancy a replay. Well, they got 5 minutes to sort it out then.
Thank you, Ivan. Let's go to Bramall Lane. Aston Villa 2-1 up, down to 10 men. Hanging on, Damien Johnson.
They are a little bit, it has to be said. Ashley Young sent off, a second yellow card for a really silly trip on Kyle Bartley. There's a shot in there from Villa, from Petrov, who's come on as a second-half substitute. Not a full-strength Villa side by any means. The story of the game, well, Villa raced into a 2-0 lead. Former United defender Kyle Walker and Mark Albrighton's volley. They were Villa's only 2 efforts on goal in the first half. The Blades have rallied in the second period. Jamie Ward pulled one back from the penalty spot after the break. Lee Williamson was tripped by Carlos Cuellar. The pressure is all at Villa's end, and they're having to hang on a bit here. It's Sheffield United 1, Aston Villa 2.
Oh, I sense something there. Do you sense something? Do you sense a goal for the home side?
Not really.
You're not feeling it in your waters, OK.
I'm much more concerned about Villa, who've had 2 players sent off in a week. Top players, Heskey and Young. It bodes well. Houllier needs those in the Premiership. He can't afford them to have them out.
OK, thank you very much, Garth. A goal for Peterborough, another consolation, you suspect, because it's at 5-2 now to Fulham, and Grant McCann got a penalty to get that second Peterborough goal. Let's go to Upton Park. West Ham hanging on against Barnsley. Robin Bailey.
Yeah, they're not exactly hanging on there. 1-0 up through Jonathan Spector, of course, that first half goal. It could and should have been 3 or 4. Two laughable sitters, really, notably from Zavon Hines in the first half. And then in the second half, Barnsley should have had a penalty. Jacob Butterfield going down under the challenge of Winston Reid. It should have been given a penalty. It wasn't. But Barnsley really haven't done enough in this game to get back on equal terms at the moment. West Ham are 1 up, and you can tell that they're struggling because Parker and Pickion are on.
Well, across London, there are plenty of goals to talk about, and another one has gone in at Craven Cottage. Roger Johnson.
Yes, Fulham going through 6-2 now against Peterborough. Camera's got a hat-trick. Further goals from Gira, Atuhu and Greening moments ago. Very much going to form. Peterborough, though, have done themselves great credit. They deserved Lee Tomlin's well-taken consolation and Grant McCann's late penalty. Fulham, though, unchanged from their last Premier League game, have never intended to slip up here. Into the final minute, they lead 6-2.
And it looks like Everton are similarly comfortably through at Glanford Park. Alan Biggs, a goal fest there as well for the Premier League side.
Yes, Everton on easy street, Gabby. 5-1 they lead. It should have been even more, actually, but a very positive and polished performance all the same. Only at 2-1 when Scunthorpe's Michael Collins reduced the arrears after the break. Was there a hint of an upset? Everton, though, immediately responded with further goals from Coleman and Fellaini to add to the earlier strikes from Sahar and Beckford. Leighton Baines with an exquisite fifth goal for them. All the goals very well executed indeed. Everton almost a sixth there. They lead 5-1 over Scunthorpe.
A second goal for Hull. Is it too late for a comeback there against the Premier League side? Paul Addison.
Well, they're doing all they can, Gabby. Shot from Ian Ashby just flashes wide for Hull City. 2-3 it is to Wigan at the moment. Hull mounting a fight back. Nick Barmby, the veteran, of course, off the bench on 61 minutes, has scored both of them. The latest, a header after an Alberto Solano cross. And for so long, Wigan were cruising through 2 goals from Mohamed Diarmi and Callum McManaman. A nervous 4 minutes of added on time for the Premier League side awaits. It's Hull 2, Wigan 3.
And another one for Bolton at the Reebok. Have the floodgates opened a little bit, Richard Askham?
They have, Gabby. It's taken a while, but another of the frontline players, Johan Almander, has got the goal. A great goal as well. He shifted the ball onto his left foot on the edge of the box and struck a beauty into the top corner. Really tough on York, but it's now Bolton 2, York 0.
Let's go to Bramall Lane. Damien Johnson, a goal.
Signs of relief on the Aston Villa bench because they've made the game safe. Substitute Stilian Petrov with a goal. It was a nicely worked move. Petrov lashing the ball into the top corner. And it's hard luck on Sheffield United, who've really pressed in this second half, looking for an equaliser to take the game to a replay. But Petrov has made the game safe for Villa. 3-1.
Another goal at the St Mary's. Is it an equaliser or a winner, Tony Husband?
That's a winner for Southampton. Blackpool, with their 9 changes, are going to be sent packing here, Gabby. Gulido Prado on as a substitute, set up by Ricky Lambert, has lashed in a brilliant right-footed 25-yarder. This one's all over. Saints 2, Blackpool 0.
And it looks like the lowest ranked side in the competition, Dover, are going home without an FA Cup victory at the Gal Farm. Naz Premji.
Yes, they lead, Huddersfield Town lead here by 2-0. But in the last few minutes, Gabby, Dover have had a real go and frightened the life out of the Huddersfield backline. Adam Birchall went close and Harry Baker had a shot that was nearly deflected in by a Terriers defender. They've had a real go and 1,300 or so Dover fans have enjoyed every minute. It's Huddersfield Town 2, Dover Athletic 0 in injury time here at the Gal Farm.
To the Withdean now. Brighton still 2-0 up against Portsmouth. They won it 2 years ago. They were beaten finalists last year. Andy Barwell, no signs they're going to make it through to the 4th round this year, though.
No, it's been a very polished professional performance from Brighton this afternoon, who deserve that advantage. Portsmouth are always on the back foot after Dave Kitson's straight red card. Chris Wood volleyed home Brighton's opener from 12 yards out. Ashley Barnes made it 2, scoring from the penalty spot. More purpose from Portsmouth in this second half, but it remains Brighton 2, Portsmouth 0.
Well, Bristol City hadn't lost in 8 matches at Ashton Gate before today. It took a League One side to do that, John Anderson.
Yes, Bristol City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Wednesday heading into the third round for the first time since 2005, thanks to 3 goals early in the second half. Gary Teal headed them in front on 49. 6 minutes later, Neil Mellor took his seasons to tally to 13 with another fine-headed goal, and then he beautifully set up Clinton Morrison to tap in the third. How they punished City, who totally dominated the first half but missed chances. It's Bristol City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 3.
And another Championship side who look like they're going to be knocked out by League One opposition are Norwich. At Carrow Road, Tony Lockwood.
Leyton Orient's slender lead remains intact. Just Norwich continue to apply the pressure. They trail to a first-half goal. Jimmy Smith sparking wild celebrations among 2,000 travelling fans with a headed goal from 8 yards out. Grant Holt, Simeon Jackson on. It's all Norwich into stoppage time. Norwich 0, Leyton Orient 1.
No problems for Watford, a Championship side against League One opposition in the shape of Hartlepool. The full-time whistle has gone and they're through, Mark Bishop.
They certainly are, Gabby. Watford 4, Hartlepool 1. Malcolm Mackay's informed side hit Hartlepool like a mini tornado in the second half after the League One side had taken the lead just before the break. Sweeney felt Watford's collar from a slide rule pass, and then a cavalcade of goals ending in Danny Graham's special to make it 4-1 on the night.
Let's go to the Pirelli drama on the final whistle almost now, I imagine, Andrew James.
Indeed, it's deep into stoppage time, Gabby, and Burton Albion have come from 1-0 down to lead by 2-1. Both of them scored by the former Notts County trainee Sean Harrod, his 12th and 13th of the season. Middlesbrough looked comfortable from Gary O'Neill's goal, but Harrod got a header a few minutes ago from Boulder's cross, and after winning a free kick, he's got a second and surely a match winner to see Burton into round 4 for the first time. Deep into stoppage time at the Pirelli, and it's Burton 2, Middlesbrough 1.
2 divisions, 45 places. King Harrod looks like he might have sealed it for Burton Albion, and that is a big scalp.
It happens time and time again. Tony Murphy takes his Middlesbrough. They go 1-0 up. They look as though they're comfortable. They don't finish the job. If you don't crush these young upstarts, they will come back to haunt you. And it looks like that's happened to Tony Mowbray again.
Thank you very much. Let's get it's full time now at the Pirelli, actually. So that is a result. Let's go to Sheffield United, to Bramall Lane. Damien Johnson, full time there.
Sheffield United 1, 10-man Aston Villa 3. No upset here, but Villa tested right until the end. Kyle Walker, the former Sheffield United defender, and Mark Albrighton put Villa 2 up at the break. Jamie Ward's penalty got the Blades back into it after Cuellar fouled Williamson. United pressed for an equaliser, encouraged by the dismissal of Ashley Young, the England forward. Bogdanovic and Ertl went close for them, but up stepped substitute Stilian Petrov right at the end, rifling into the top corner to make it safe for Aston Villa. 3-1.
Full time at the Rajaski and a Premiership scalp for the home side. Tony Colliver.
It is indeed. Reading 1, West Brom 0. The home side won through Shane Long's first half goal, and West Brom, though, did have chances but struggled throughout. Albion now they have won at the Medeski, and that record remains unchanged. Reading 1, West Brom 0.
Let's go to Deepdale now, and he couldn't get a win in his first match in charge of Preston. Let's get the latest from Alistair Mann.
Full time, in fact. Preston 1, Nottingham Forest 2. New boss Phil Brown won't have been too surprised to see his Preston side lacking confidence early on. They did, though, take the lead after Andy Lonergan had made a save to keep them in it. Darren Carter giving them that advantage. In the second half, Forest demonstrated their buoyant promotion form. Paul Anderson with an equaliser, and then a couple of minutes from the end, Luke Chambers prodded in from a corner. Phil Brown has a lot to do to change Preston's luck. They gave plenty, but they've lost. Preston 1, Forest 2.
Full time at the Keepmoat Stadium. Harry Gratian, they hung on for a replay.
Oh, superb match. Gabby had everything. Miliassi's 30-yard screamer on 37 gave Wolves the lead. Sharp and Hayter with 2 goals in 5 minutes, giving Doncaster Rovers the edge 2-1 at half-time. Then a penalty from Stephen Hunt made it 2-2. Ella Kobe was sent off, giving Wolves a nervy few minutes at the end. Great match, 2-2.
But is this the biggest upset of the day or of the weekend? A few more matches to come, but 52 places between them at the Stadium of Light, and Sunderland are out. Steve Sutton.
Yes, it's the governor who puts one over his former Manchester United teammate. Sunderland 0, Notts County 2. Notts County taking the lead early in the first half. West Carr's cross mucked up between keeper Mignolet and Anton Ferdinand. It found its way into the back of the net. Notts County comfortable on that lead until the 60th minute when Steve Bruce made 2 changes. All of a sudden the pace was picked up. Sunderland looked likely to pull one back before Lee Hughes made it 2-0 from an impossible angle. Kieran Richardson with a lifeline with a penalty late on. 6 minutes of added on time in the last of those. Darren Bent with a header just over, but it's Notts County who march into the next round. Sunderland 0, Sunderland 1 rather, Notts County 2.
Steve, thank you. Another Premier League scalp at the St Mary's Stadium. Tony Husband seen Blackpool knocked out.
Yes, Gabby, Ian Holloway may shed few tears, though, at seeing a very much second-string side knocked out here by League One high flyers Southampton, who win courtesy of 2 second-half goals. Lee Barnard, 7 minutes after the interval, after a shot from Ricky Lambert had been parried away. The result wrapped up 3 minutes from time. Gulido Prado on as a substitute with a fine finish to beat Rahubka in the Blackpool goal. There was still time for Alex Chamberlain to hit a post as well for Southampton. There were 17 changes made by both sides combined ahead of this game, and Southampton, though, go through to round 4. They've beaten Blackpool by 2-0.
There's 40 places between Norwich and Leyton Orient, and it's the League One side who have become the winners, the victors at Carrow Road. Tony Lockwood.
Into the 4th round for the first time since 2006. Jimmy Smith, the hero, with a headed winner. All Norwich pressure, heroic defending by the East Londoners, and those players from Orient away on the far side celebrating with a 2,000 travelling contingent. Orient put off an FA Cup upset. Norwich 0, Leyton Orient 1.
QPR might be flying high in the Championship with the flying out of the FA Cup at Ewood Park. James Mason.
They are. Blackburn 1, QPR 0. A game full of incident, but only 1 goal to show for it. Scored by Junior Hoylett in the side for a rare start today, and how he made the most of it, curling in a shot from inside the area. Premiership hopefuls QPR did have chances, hitting the bar twice, but they've now not won an FA Cup tie for 11 years, but can concentrate on their Premier League ambitions. Blackburn 1, QPR 0.
A Championship side who've cruised through to the 4th round of Swansea, and Jason Mohammed saw them do that at the Liberty Stadium.
Gabby, they've eased into the 4th round thanks to goals from Gary Monk, Darren Pratley, Cedric van der Gun and Scott Sinclair. Colchester United's best chances fell to top scorer David Mooney. Boss John Ward in the pre-match talk said he felt this was an invisible tie, and his team were just that this afternoon. Swansea City 4, Colchester United 0.
No upset at Craven Cottage. Roger Johnson.
Fulham 6, Peterborough 2, when Posh won 5 early corners, the travelling fans dared to believe. But Fulham played their strongest team. Reality quickly dawned. Camara hit a hat-trick. Atuhu, Gera and Greening added the gloss. At least a fine Tomlin finish and a late McCann penalty ensured something for the visitors to celebrate. Fulham through convincingly, 6-2.
And Huddersfield just had too much bite, didn't they, for Dover at the Galfond Stadium. Naz Premji.
Huddersfield Town 2, Dover Athletic 0. No romance here, but all credit to Dover Athletic and their fans who made the most noise here at the Gal Farm. Non-league defending let Scott Arfield and Gary Robertson in 2 crazy first half minutes. In the second half, they did have chances. Alan Birchall and Harry Baker went close, but it's finished here. Huddersfield Town 2, Dover Athletic 0.
And another non-league side who won't be making it into the pot for the 4th round draw are York, beaten at the Reebok Stadium. Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, 99 places separate these sides, but for large parts of this match, you would never have known. York attacked from the off and were rarely outclassed. Chambers wasted a great chance in the first half. Barrett a free header in the second, but Kevin Davis did find a breakthrough for the Premier League side late on, lashing home after confusion in the defence. Johan Almander then added a classy second to rather flatter the home side.
The only non-league side left, they play on Monday against Derby. Let's go to the Britannia, though, where it was Premier League against Championship, and you couldn't split them, Ivan Gaskell.
No, neither wanted a replay, but they've got one. They've only really got themselves to blame. Neither side quite good enough to win it. Chopper with the early goal for an injury-depleted Cardiff. Stoke slowly came to life. Tunchai levelled with the fine goal. The Championship side hung on grimly for 45 minutes. The naughty step for Kenwyn Jones. 2 missed second-half chances. They'll have to do it all again. 1-1.
Bristol City haven't won an FA Cup tie now for 5 years. Sheffield Wednesday got something of a scalp at Ashton Gate. John Anderson.
Yes, they did. They won by 3-0, and they're into the fourth round for the first time since 2005. City punished for wasting a hatful of first-half chances, whereas Wednesday in the second half took everything that came their way. Teal with a header in off the bar. Mello with his 13th of the season, another excellent header. And then he it was who set up Clinton Morrison to send Wednesday into round 4. Bristol City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 3.
OK, let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
And in the third round of the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon, Arsenal 1, Leeds United 1. Blackburn Rovers 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Bolton Wanderers 2, York City 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Portsmouth 1. Bristol City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Burnley 4, Port Vale 2. Burton Albion 2, Middlesbrough 1. Coventry City 2, Crystal Palace 1. Doncaster Rovers 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Fulham 6, Peterborough United 2. Huddersfield Town 2, Dover Athletic 0. Hull City 2, Wigan Athletic 3. And continuing the third round, Millwall 1, Birmingham City 4. Norwich City 0, Leyton Orient 1. Preston North End 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Reading 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. Scunthorpe United 1, Everton 5. Sheffield United 1, Aston Villa 3. Southampton 2, Blackpool 0. Stevenage and Newcastle have an evening kick-off. Stoke City 1, Cardiff City 1. Sunderland 1, Notts County 2. Swansea City 4, Colchester United 0. Torquay United 1, Carlisle United 0. And just two more in the third round. Watford 4, Hartlepool United 1. West Ham United 2, Barnsley 0. In the second round replay, Lincoln City 3, Hereford United 4. In the Empire League 1, AFC Bournemouth 3, Plymouth Argyle 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Rochdale 1. Exeter City 1, Milton Keynes Dons 1. Oldham Athletic 2, Swindon Town 0. Tranmere Rovers 3, Walsall 3. And Yeovil Town 2, Brentford 0. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 1, Bury 0. Aldershot Town 1, Oxford United 2. Bradford City 1, Barnet 3. Crewe Alexandra 3, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Northampton Town 1, Cheltenham Town 1. Shrewsbury Town 1, Morecambe 3. Southend United 2, Chesterfield 3. And Stockport County 1, Gillingham 5. In the Blue Square Premier, Barrow 1, Cambridge United 2. Bath City 0, Luton Town 0. Darlington 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. Eastbourne Borough, Eastbourne Borough 1, Mansfield Town 3. Forest Green Rovers 1, Fleetwood Town 0. Gateshead 2, Kidderminster 2. Hayes and Yeading United 2, Tamworth 1. Rushton and Diamonds 1, Altrincham 2. Southport 2, Newport County 1. Wrexham 2, Grimsby Town 0. In the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, Aberdeen 6, East Fife 0. Dundee United 0, Ross County 0. Falkirk's match with Partick Thistle and Greenock Mortons with Airdrie United both postponed. Hamilton Academical 2, Alloa Athletic 0. Hibernian 0, Ayr United 0. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, Elgin City 0. Montrose 2, Dunfermline Athletic 2. Queen of the South and Brecon City postponed. St Mirren 0, Peterhead 0. In the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth Town 0, the New Saints 1. That's the latest score. Bangor City 6, Haverfordwest 0. Llanelli 3, Bala Town 1. And Port Talbot Town 3, Newtown 0.
OK, let's have a little look at the tables then, and to League One. And with this morning's top two in FA Cup action, Bournemouth have made their move. A 3-0 win over Plymouth lifts the Cherries into second place, 4 points behind leaders Brighton. No other sides in the promotion and playoff places were in action today. At the bottom, Walsall scored 2 late goals to draw 3-3 at Tranmere, but they remain 8 points from safety. So too did Dagenham and Redbridge, who lost at home to Rochdale. Yeovil climb above Bristol Rovers into 21st place after beating Brentford. To League Two, Chesterfield increased their lead at the top to 5 points thanks to their win at Southend. Crewe's victory over promotion rivals Wickham sees them leap from 8th to 5th place. At the bottom, Barnet's win at Bradford helps them off the bottom and out of the relegation places as they take advantage of neither Hereford or Lincoln having a game today. The Bees are now 1 point behind managerless Stockport, who conceded 5 goals for the 4th time this season. And the Blue Square Premiership table, AFC Wimbledon have extended their lead to 3 points after drawing at Darlington. Their nearest challengers, Crawley, play Derby in the FA Cup on Monday, the only non-league side left in the FA Cup. They've got 3 games in hand. Altrincham climb off the bottom after winning 2-1 at Rushden and Diamonds. Histon, who didn't play today, now prop up the rest. A few things to tell you about on BBC Sport. We've got live cup action for you on Tuesday. Carling Cup semi-final at Upton Park. West Ham against Birmingham City from 7:30 on BBC Two. Some snooker for you, the Masters on BBC Two tomorrow at 1:25. And later on the same day, on Sunday, it's the World Darts Final, 5:45 on BBC Two. The second semi is taking place right now on BBC Two, so I'll allow you to turn over just as soon as I've had a quick chat with my chaps here about the shocks today from the FA Cup. 3 Premier League sides out, West Brom, Sunderland and Blackpool. Which of those are you most surprised succumb to lower league opposition?
Notts County, Sunderland. That's, for me, is the game of the day. What's Steve Bruce's Sunderland 6th in the Premier League. Notts County 14th in League One, something like that. Paul Ince's back in business.
It's great for Notts County as well, financially, to move on in the Cup when you're at that level.
Oh, incredibly. I mean, you've got prize money, you've got a decent little gate, you've got the prospect of another good tie. Absolutely. And for a club like that, who are just starting to make their mark in that division, a little bit of impetus with regards to the finance, you never quite know where that can take you. So a perfect result.
We heard there was a bad injury for QPR player Jamie Mackie, who's scored a lot of goals for them, hasn't he, this season? Been very important for Neil Warnock, and we're hearing that he's broken his leg. And Neil Warnock had already intimated that really, a cup run wasn't a high priority for him. Getting into the Premier League is.
He wants to get in the Premier League, absolutely. Like when he was at Sheffield United, he said, "No, I'm not going to actually go for the FA Cup." Getting promotion is more important for me. The same as today. But to lose your top striker, I think Jamie scored like 13 goals, something like that, 13, 14 goals.
9 in the league.
Is it 9 in the league? But, he's a top striker. We wish him all the very best, but it's a big blow for QPR.
What about West Brom? They've been on this terrible slide in the Premier League, lost to lower league opposition today. Roberto Di Matteo is having a difficult time, isn't he, there?
There's a touch of déjà vu about West Brom. I mean, we always say how nice the way they play the game. They knock the ball around. But they're becoming a little bit too easy to beat. Some of the results of late, as you said, look very, very poor on paper. And, of course, you look as if there's a little bit of a lack of confidence in some of their players. So, yeah, this would be a perfect example to stop that slide and maybe start again, but unable to do that.
Newcastle kick off at tea time against Stevenage, and they've got to hold it up for the North East, because with Sunderland out, Hartlepool out, Middlesbrough out to Burton Albion.
Correct.
That's another giant killing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Congratulations, Paul Pescalino. And, of course, quick word for the O's. But Stevenage, I think there's unfinished business there. I think this is going to be a really interesting scenario later this evening. Newcastle could get their colour felt.
Well done to Burton, though.
Absolutely. I've had a sort of a topsy-turvy sort of year so far. But, yeah, a great result and coming from a goal behind as well.
OK, Garth, thank you very much. 30 years since Garth won the FA Cup. He hasn't mentioned it at all. Don't forget, you can have your say on 606 with Darren Fletcher and Robbie Savage. Call 0500 909 693 or text 85058 standard rate. Email 5livesport@bbc.co.uk. That's it from all of us here. I hope you got the result you wanted. If not, there's always next year. Well done to those of you who've made it through to the 4th round, though. Have a very good evening. Bye-bye.